Shading with pen is such a huge part of the illustration process, and it's really a whole subject unto itself. So today, that's exactly what we're focusing on. Hello there, welcome back. My name is Shayda Campbell, and this is our first tutorial of the new year. I did release a video earlier in the week with a ton of important news about me and the channel, so give it a watch after this video if you haven't already. But today we're going to do some classic Shayda content, I think you could say, and we're going to draw flowers, but our focus will be on line shading or just shading those flowers. We're going to talk about all the many different ways that you can add shading to a drawing. Back in high school, I did a lot of pencil drawings, and pencil is so great for shading. It's very forgiving. It's a soft medium. You can erase it. And I love to really bring my drawings to life with a lot of shading. So when I switched over to pen a few years ago, I just found that shading was a really difficult part of that process. So I hope today to help you through that if you're struggling or if you're just like, pen is so harsh, like I can't erase. And we're gonna talk about all the ways to shade with pen and all the tricks of the trade, I guess. So let's get started. To begin the shading practice in my sketchbook, I've prepped a contour drawing of a flower, and a contour drawing is just a line drawing like a coloring book image. Then what I do after the contour drawing is complete is I take a smaller nib fine liner, and we'll talk about that in a second, and I begin to add some lines or scribbles or dots, anything to make that image really pop off the page and give it some depth and even perspective. So let's talk about the supplies we'll be using. I have a number of fine liners here. They're just good quality pens. I really like the Meloto black liners, and you'll notice those little numbers on the side, and those numbers actually refer to the size of the nib, so the actual pen size, and you can get quite precise by having nibs of different sizes, larger and smaller or thicker and thinner. I'm also using Pigma microns, and again, those numbers on the side, the 005 is really tiny, the 03 is a little bit larger, they go all the way up to 08. So just having 2 or 3 can make such a difference. And then I have a mechanical pencil, just don't have to sharpen it, nice soft gum eraser, artist eraser. And I also keep a clean mop brush that's specifically just for getting rid of my eraser dust. The sketch pad that I'm working in today is from Strathmore. It's actually meant for colored pencils. It's quite a toothy, thick paper, and I just love it for drawing with pencil and pen. Okay, let's talk about some different types of shading. We're going to start with line shading or hatching, and hatching is just placing straight lines or fairly straight lines parallel to one another to create shadow or shading, and the closer they are, the darker it looks. Cross hatching is taking those hatching lines and angling them across one another. And again, the closer they are, you get that dark effect, space them, and you can create a lighter shadow. There's also scribbling or doodling. I'll draw a little circle here and we'll try to make it look like a sphere by scribbling in our shading. You see this a lot, or I see it often in comics, and it's just a really fun, easy way to create shadow and depth. So I've left a little highlight by spacing my scribbles. And I often use scribble shading for something like the center of a flower. Next up, let's talk about contour shading. And just like we did a contour drawing to begin, or I'm doing another contour drawing here of a circle and a little plant with berries. The contour shading is when the lines follow the same shape as the contour drawing. So I've drawn a circle. Now all my hatching lines are actually going to follow the shape of that circle, or they'll follow the shape of these leaves or little berries. So this is probably my most used. Maybe I'll do some angled contour lines there, and we'll call that cross contour, just like hatching and cross hatching. So contour and cross contour, I find it really helps to shape your subject, although all shading does that. And then finally, let's talk about stippling. Stippling is just using little dots to create shadow and depth. And like all the others here, the closer you place them, the darker the shading will appear, and then space them more to create a lighter shadow. So you can see here, I've done a rectangle and I'm just trying in my practice to take it from really dark to really light. And that's just a great way to practice. And drawing that rectangle is a great way to practice any of these techniques. So now that we've kind of talked a little bit about those different types of shading, what I really want to convey is that it's not about like having a super deep understanding of stippling or cross-hatching. I tend to just move from one to the other and use them interchangeably and just use whatever feels right for that project. You saw that I kind of added a bit of scribbling to the center of the flower, and then I was using hatching. Gosh, or even the contour lines, I just always thought of that as hatching, whereas I think I learned this week that hatching is sort of straighter lines, and then the contour or cross contour is when those lines or crossed lines are kind of moving with the shape. So if it's a sphere that you're trying to draw, they're curving, or a flower petal or leaf, they're curving. It's just about kind of having a bit of an understanding, maybe doing a practice page like this in your sketchbook. But then from there, just do what you want to do, use them as you like, and definitely get a couple fine liners in different nib sizes, because that is going to make the biggest difference. Sometimes there's just no way to have enough control with your hand. You need a smaller nib size, trust me. I wanted to quickly show you these other florals, just as an example of contour drawing and line shading. This is a great video if you're looking for something to watch after today's tutorial. I highly recommend this one. It's called 5 Flowers You Can Draw or Learn to Draw Today, and it's a good way to build on the stuff we're talking about today. These 5 flowers are all a little different, and they all kind of jump off the page when you add that line shading. So we'll link that in the description, but definitely give it a watch. And then I wanted to show you guys this drawing that I was working on back in October before Halloween, and I never got around to finish it, but maybe I will next year. Post it on my Instagram next Halloween. And you can see, I really think in this drawing I was practicing my shading, and you can see how I've employed kind of all the techniques and used a lot of cross hatching in the sky, a lot of hatching, a lot of scribbling, and maybe just a teeny bit of stippling, but it's all there and it all works together, and it's just about having fun with it, really. I was having a lot of fun with this, with this tiny, precise little drawing. Let's just put into practice what we're talking about. So I'm going to sketch a tulip. Again, we'll begin with the contour drawing. So I'll do it in pencil first, and then I'll go over it in pen. Tulip is such a simple flower, sort of that oval-shaped blossom, and I've done the oval, and now I'm dividing that area into a bunch of petals. They sort of all curl together at the center. I'll go over it in pen so you can see it really well. So I did the oval shape, and then I did 2 large petals, and then there's 2 smaller ones kind of curling together inside. I'm also going to draw 2 leaves and a simple stem, and we'll get rid of all of our pencil marks, and then we're going to take that smaller black liner. So I used the 04 nib for the contour, and I'm using the 05 for the shading. And having that smaller nib allows me to do really precise hatching or cross contour or whatever it is I'm going to do. The first thing I'm thinking is, because the petals and leaves are different colors, I want to show that and differentiate between them. So I'm going to make the leaves a bit darker than the blossom, than the petals. And I'm also using contour shading to follow the shape of those leaves. But you know what we need to talk about? Light. As the artist, you decide where the light is coming from. I'm saying it's in the upper left. That means everything on the bottom right is going to be a little bit darker, and things on the left or the upper part of the tulip are lighter. So right away I can say, okay, underneath the blossom, it's a little darker there on the stem, and where this flower overlaps the leaf, it would cast a little bit of a shadow, so I'll make some darker contour lines there. And everywhere the leaf comes to a point at each end, as it curves in, it would be a little bit more shadowed, right? And it would be lighter kind of where the big flat part of the leaf is. So you can see me doing that. The leaves are darker at the ends and lighter in the middle. And I'm just having fun with it, really. Let's do some shading on the blossom. It's going to be lighter, and that can actually be harder to do. One thing I want to do is show the shape of the tulip, the rounded curvature of it. So I'm making those contour lines really short, but they do have a slight curve to them. The inner petals are a little bit darker. The petal to the right is a little darker than the one on the left. And right in the center there, where all the petals curve, it's quite dark. And to finish up my tulip, I'm just going to add a bit of cross contour shading to darken some of those areas just a tiny bit more. So the reason I wanted to use the tulip as our example here is because the tulip is just basically an oval with a stick. Like the bloom and the stem, it can be so simple, and sometimes simple is trickier to illustrate. I definitely find that. It's easy to draw tiny little wax flowers, clusters with cute little petals, and it's like, draw a tulip. It's like, how am I gonna make this look good? And that's really where shading comes in. And I think on this drawing, you can really see that with shading, we've shown the movement of those leaves, we've shown the curvature of each petal, and we've shown that all these petals are overlapping and curling in on one another, and we've captured a lot of elements of the tulip, and that's kind of the magic of shading. For our final bit of shading practice, I want to draw a very seasonal flower, and that is the Paperwhite. So I'm beginning like I do all my drawings, and that is with a guide. These circles represent where each cluster of little Paperwhite blossoms will be, and then you can see I'm placing some stems and the large sort of thicker leaves. From there, we continue the guide. So each cluster of flowers, I'm going to break down into small circles and ovals, and each circle or oval represents where one little blossom or bud will be. So you can see me doing that. Any oval or triangle shape is kind of an angled flower. I'm putting a few buds in there, and they're all a little wonky and different sizes. And then the guide is complete and we actually begin drawing, but still working in pencil. So I think sometimes it seems like drawing is so tricky. How do I begin to draw this subject or this flower? It's like start with a guide and then continue the guide. Break everything down into simple shapes. Now what I'm doing is really just, drawing these basic flowers. They have 4 or 5 or maybe 6 petals. Some are on an angle, some are just tiny little buds. And you can see the Paperwhite beginning to emerge. Look at some photos on Google, don't try to draw just out of your head if you're not good at that. I tend to like to look at photos and then I change them to suit, my personal illustration. Only at this point, the guide is done, I've started the illustration. Am I actually going to get out that pen? So I'm using the larger fine liner to give me a nice thick, substantial contour drawing. So this is the Moloto Black Liner 04 nib. And I'm just going over all my tiny little blossoms. And then I'm drawing in a whole bunch more. I've got 3 clusters of flowers, so I want to illustrate those. And then I'm going over the stems and the leaves, and that gives me my simple contour drawing. Still working with my 04 nib fine liner, I am adding some shading to the stems and the sepals of these flowers. And the reason I haven't switched to the smaller fine liner is because I know I want to do these areas quite dark. But then I will grab that smaller nib pen. This is the 005, and we're going to begin shading on the flowers, the little Paperwhites. Now, Paperwhites are that bright white flower, and so I don't want to overshade them. I don't want to give the impression that they are a darker color or that they're muddled in any way because they are so bright. So we're just doing these contour line shading, and we're placing lines, around the stamen, the center of the flower, to help the flower appear to be a little more convex. We're still following the shape of each petal. So in that way, I don't want to do hatching that tends to be a little more straight. I want to do that contour shading, and that's going to help give life and shape and movement to each of these petals. We don't want the petals to look like they're flat as a piece of paper. We want them to look like they're curving. Once those are done, I'll switch back to my larger fine liner and we're going to shade in the leaves. One of the reasons I really love this Strathmore colored pencil sketchbook is because that toothy paper, you can kind of drag the fine liner across the page in such a way that you can make these really light, almost broken lines. It reminds me of shading in pencil, and it just gives a really nice effect, and it makes shading easier. The paper matters when it comes to shading. Find one that you love. So basically at this point, I'm just finishing up the shading on these leaves. I really want to create a difference between petal, which is white, and leaves, which are green. And I think I'm doing that by really making these leaves dark. And when you have stuff that's really dark, you really can go either way. You want to do scribbles, cross-hatching, whatever. I do think I need to thicken up this stem. That middle one is sort of weirdly thin, and Paperwhites actually have quite a thick, dense stem. So you know me, I like to simplify my subject. I don't need to capture every last detail to feel like a drawing was successful. In fact, I like to just simplify and make things kind of whimsical and fun, but you do have to kind of capture those key features. And I think one of the key features of the Paperwhite is definitely the thicker stem. I think this will be done. I mean, I've never drawn Paperwhites before. This was total practice. That's what this little sketchbook is for, and I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out. I think that's about it. I'm happy with the way these Paperwhites turned out. I'll probably try drawing them again since that was my first practice run with this flower. Thank you for watching. If you're looking for more content, head over to Patreon this weekend because the January bonus video comes out Saturday, tomorrow. If you haven't heard, we're going down to 1 video a week here on YouTube, so watch Wednesday's video. I'll link it in the description to hear all about that, hear the details. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you soon with a new tutorial.